The theater was quiet in a way that felt heavier than silence. It was the kind of quiet that settled into the seats and climbed the tall walls, resting beneath the lights like a held breath. The stage was wide and bright, but beyond it, the audience waited in soft darkness. Somewhere above, cameras blinked patiently. The air carried the faint smell of dust, fabric, and electricity. It was almost Christmas, though the world outside still moved too fast to notice. A small boy stood at the edge of the stage, just before the light fully touched him. His name was Miguel. He was 12 years old, from a coastal town in the Philippines where the sea was always close and Christmas lights appeared as early as September. His shoes were clean but worn. His hands were folded together, fingers pressed tight, as if holding something fragile inside his chest. Miguel had never seen a place like this before. Back home, stages were wooden platforms built for town fiestas. Lights were simple bulbs strung across basketball courts. Here, everything felt larger. The ceiling seemed endless. The silence felt watchful. He could hear his own breathing, slow and uneven. A woman behind the curtain had smiled at him earlier and told him to walk when he heard his name. Her voice was kind, but her eyes looked tired, like she had seen many dreams pass through this space. Miguel nodded, even though his throat felt dry. When his name was called, it echoed slightly. Miguel stepped forward. The light found him gently, like a hand resting on his shoulder. He blinked once, then looked ahead. At the judges' table sat familiar faces he had only seen on a small television at home. Simon Cowell sat in the center, arms crossed, eyes sharp but calm. Howie Mandel leaned forward, curious. Heidi Klum smiled softly. Sofia Vergara tilted her head, already warm and open. Miguel bowed his head politely, the way his parents taught him. His voice, when he spoke, was quiet but steady. "My name is Miguel," he said. "I am from the Philippines." Simon nodded. "What will you be doing for us today?" Miguel took a breath. He thought of his mother standing in their kitchen early in the morning, humming while stirring rice. He thought of his father fixing nets by the shore, singing old songs to pass the time. He thought of nights filled with lanterns, voices, and hope. "I will sing a traditional Christmas carol," Miguel said. There was a small pause. Simon raised his eyebrows slightly. "Whenever you're ready." Miguel closed his eyes. For a moment, nothing happened. The audience shifted softly. Somewhere, a cough echoed. Then Miguel began to sing. His voice was thin at first, like a single thread of sound, careful and unsure. The melody was old, older than the stage, older than the lights. It carried the warmth of candle flames and open windows. The words were not in English. They rolled gently, shaped by memory and tradition. As Miguel sang, his voice grew stronger, not louder, but fuller. It filled the space between breaths. Each note moved slowly, as if it had all the time in the world. The song did not rush. It invited listening. The audience grew still. The carol spoke of waiting, of long nights and quiet hope, of stars that shine without asking to be seen. Miguel sang the way his grandmother sang, with care and patience. His hands rested at his sides. His shoulders relaxed. Simon leaned back slightly. His arms uncrossed without him noticing. His face changed, just a little. The sharp lines softened. His eyes focused not on the performance, but somewhere deeper, as if he were remembering something he had not thought about in years. Miguel reached the second verse. His voice carried a gentle ache. It was not sadness alone, but the kind that comes from love held for a long time. The kind that knows loss, but also faith. Backstage, Miguel's mother watched on a small screen. Her hands were clasped tightly. She did not cry. She smiled, because this song had once been sung to her, and now it was traveling farther than she ever imagined. The judges did not speak. No one moved. As the final note faded, Miguel let it go slowly. He opened his eyes. The silence returned, but it felt different now. It was warm, full. Then the audience began to clap. At first, it was gentle. Then it grew, spreading like waves. Some people stood. Others wiped their eyes. Simon remained seated. He did not clap right away. He looked at Miguel with a quiet intensity. When he finally spoke, his voice was softer than usual. "I didn't understand the words," Simon said slowly. "But I understood the feeling." Miguel nodded, unsure what to say. Simon cleared his throat. "That was very special." Howie smiled wide. "You didn't try to impress anyone. You just shared something true." Heidi placed a hand over her heart. It felt like Christmas, she said simply. Sophia blinked back tears. It reminded me of family, she said. Miguel listened, his heart pounding. He thought of the nights he sang outside small stores to earn coins. He thought of the times he felt invisible. He did not expect this moment. He only wanted to sing well. Simon leaned forward. Why did you choose that song? Miguel hesitated. Then he spoke honestly. Because when I sing it, I feel like I am home, he said. Even when I am far away. Something in Simon's expression shifted. He nodded once, slowly. There was a vote. It was clear. Miguel moved on. Later that night, in a quiet room backstage, Miguel sat with a small cup of water. His hands still shook. A producer passed by and gave him a thumbs up. Someone else told him he did great. The words felt distant, like sounds underwater. Miguel thought about the problem that brought him here. His town had been hit by storms more often. His school needed repairs. His parents worked hard, but there was never enough. Singing was not a plan. It was a hope. A fragile one. As days passed, Miguel stayed in America longer than he expected. Each performance brought new nerves, new lights. He sang other songs, but sometimes, in quiet moments, he hummed the old carol to himself. It reminded him why he started. One evening, after a long rehearsal, Miguel found Simon standing alone near the stage. The lights were dim. The room felt empty. Simon noticed him and smiled slightly. You okay? Miguel nodded. Yes, sir. Simon paused. That first song, he said. It stayed with me. Miguel did not know what to say. He bowed his head politely. Simon continued, you know, sometimes music reminds us of who we were before things got complicated. Miguel looked up. He did not fully understand, but he felt the truth in the words. The competition continued. Some nights were harder. Miguel made a small mistake once. His voice cracked another time. He worried he was disappointing people. But each time, he remembered his grandmother's voice, steady and kind. Then came the final performance. The theater was full again. The lights were brighter. The pressure heavier. Miguel stood in the wings, breathing slowly. He had chosen a different song this time, but at the last moment, he asked if he could include a short part of the carol. The producers agreed. Miguel stepped onto the stage. He sang the new song with care. It was strong, clear, and confident. Then, near the end, the music softened. Miguel closed his eyes and returned to the carol. Just a verse. Just enough. The audience recognized it. A hush fell. When he finished, the applause was long and full. Simon stood. His eyes were wet. He did not hide it. Miguel did not win the competition that night. Another act took the title. But when Miguel returned home, things were different. People listened. His school was repaired. His town gathered to sing together. On Christmas Eve, Miguel stood outside his home, lanterns glowing around him. The sea was calm. He sang the carol again, his voice steady and warm. Far away, in a busy city, Simon Cowell sat quietly, listening to a recording someone had sent him. He closed his eyes. For a moment, the world slowed. And in that shared stillness, the song continued, carrying light, memory, and hope, exactly where it was needed.